So good evening.
Good evening.
How is everybody doing?
Are we on video? Yeah.
We are on video.
Okay, I'll make sure.
Just the back of your head.
Oh, that's it?
So did everyone have a good Christmas?
Yeah. Very good.
Everyone get everything they wanted?
No.
So I had an interesting Christmas. Thursday morning I get sick, which is still kind of lingering right now. And then, so I spent Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day barely being able to speak because I had a lump in my throat and I hardly swallow. Chris could contest to this. So what's funny is by Christmas Day, I was thinking, oh, I sure hope I'm not sick by Wednesday because I have to speak. So I'm still a little bit sick, but I'm getting it over it. But isn't it funny how whatever you focus and pour attention onto is basically what happens? You focus on, oh, I don't want to be late. I don't want this to happen. I don't want to be sick. And you focus on all that, and that's exactly what happens. Thanks, Lori.
Yeah, I was just going to.
So whatever you give focus and attention to expands, right? So it takes no more effort to focus on what you do want versus what you don't want, right? But we're so conditioned at an extremely young age to focus exactly on all the things that we don't want in our lives. So tonight's topic and theme for everything is really about growth. So what are you growing in your life, whether it be your bank account, your health, your free time, maybe spending more time with friends and family? What is it that you're growing? Because we're either growing or we're dying. And there is no in between, right? So it's either one or the other. So that's why we never stay stagnant. So tonight's topic is all about growth. And we're going to talk about a whole lot of things, but one of the things we're going to talk about is New Year's resolutions. How many of you guys have made your New Year's resolutions? Any?
Some.
Some?
I'm not doing any this year.
None this year? Why not?
Just that I never pull through with them.
Okay, cool. I'm going to explain why that happens and what to do about it. Because you're in the bucket of pretty much the vast majority of society. Because everyone has their intentions. I like to call them intentions, because you have an intention on what you would do, right? So New Year's resolution is always positive. It's never like, hey, I want to make less money, or I want to gain some weight. Right? It's always
That's not true, Josh.
It's always, yeah, but it's always a positive step forward for our lives, right? It's always some kind of growth, and that's the topic for tonight. And so when you have a New Year's resolution, it's something that you want to do to improve your life. That's why you set them, right? So the question is, why is it that people don't achieve them? Like you say, Lori, you have this brilliant idea that I'm going to make more money, I'm going to have more free time, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to have a better social life, I'm going to get my life together, and this is going to be fantastic. And then 3 weeks in, you're like, what the heck happened? Right? By February 1st, everyone stopped. I go to the gym, since I got sick, I haven't been able to work out since Thursday, but typically 6 days a week. And I've done this for 4 years, or the past 3 years straight, excuse me. Every single November, late November-ish, I start working out hard. And no one's in there, but come the last week of December and the beginning of January, it's packed. I mean, you could barely get a workout in, there's so many people in that place. But as the weeks progress, and by about mid to late January, it's fizzled back to where it was in October, November. So, if you ask someone, why don't you achieve them? What do they say? You're like, oh, if you have this goal to lose weight. And that's, I was looking at statistics the other day, and would you believe it or not, the #1 New Year's resolution is to spend more time with friends and family. That's the most common New Year's resolution. #2 is weight loss. And then there's stop smoking, stop drinking, that kinds of stuff. But #1 was spend more time with friends and family. Now, the interesting thing is, if someone has a goal to lose weight, and a lot of people do it for the first 1-2 weeks, they're committed, and they do it, and they're just rocking. They're like, they've lost 6, 7, 10 pounds, and then they stopped. And you're like, why did you stop? And they're like, I don't know, I just stopped. But like, you were so close, you were just doing it, and you were losing the weight, and you were doing absolutely fantastic, and you stopped, I don't know. And they don't know. People just absolutely don't know. But here's the thing, I know. But they don't know. And guess what? You're going to know. And I'm going to help you understand why. So people go through this whole phase and they don't understand why they get the results they get. They just keep doing what they're doing, and then, like a lot of you, I think 1 out of 10 here said they've set New Year's resolutions because they forget it. I said it, and it doesn't happen. Well, let me help you understand why this happens, and then help you understand what to do about it. There's something called the rubber band theory. How many of you have heard of this? Okay. Maxwell Maltz, he wrote a book called The Cybernetic Mechanism. And this book is actually very cool because it states that we all have a thermostat that we run by. So your health, your career, your finances, we all have a set conditioning on what we believe that we're worth. Right? So I'm going to give you a perfect example. This room, what's it set at? 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, so here we are, 20 degrees Celsius. Who likes the temperature of this room right now? It's good? It's good, right? It's comfortable? A little cool? Okay. We'll warm it up. So, how many of you have been in a space in your life where maybe financially you're very comfortable, bills are paid, life is good, you're going on vacation, doing your stuff, you're comfortable. And you find yourself when you're in that space just kind of like take your foot off the gas a little bit and decide you're going to coast, kind of live life, and enjoy yourself. And then all of a sudden you find yourself going, whoa, wait a minute, that's not where I wanted to be. Kind of step back a little bit, so let me put the foot back on the gas and get going again. Right? Well, that's the oscillation of life. So basically, if this room is set at 20 degrees Celsius, here we are in a comfort zone, right? So what happens if the room goes up 2 degrees to 22? The heat gets kicked off, we come back, that's where I need to be. It's perfect. 20 degrees Celsius.
Do
Do I know him? Oh yeah. One sec. Please go around that side. This way. Yeah, out and around. I was looking through the mirror. Alright, so here we are, right? If it goes too high, 22 degrees, it kicks back, comes back down to 20 degrees. That's why I'm perfect. Same thing if it goes too low. 18 degrees, heat kicks back on, comes back up. Perfect. That's where I need to be, right? This happens every single thing, but what happens is when we are conditioned to either A, earn a certain amount of money, have a certain amount of free time, have a certain degree of health, we reach this level where we start having form of success, and then what happens? We go, I'm not worthy. Now I can guarantee you that every single one of you in this room believes you're not worthy of something. But the thing is, it's beyond your conscious awareness, so you're not even aware of it. You're not even aware of it until it physically happens, and you can look back in the past and say, oh crap, yeah, I was doing pretty well, and I let it all go. Right? And the same thing applies if you go backwards, and you're not doing as well. You do everything you can to get back up to that comfort space. So let me help you understand the rubber band theory, because it's a very simple concept. I actually have a rubber band, which could be the 8th wonder of the world here. And I do need a participant to come up and give me a hand. Okay, well luckily enough you had a New Year's resolution. So if you could come stand on this side here. And just share everyone, what's one thing that you want to improve for the new year?
My health and fitness.
Your health and fitness?
Yeah, to be more consistent with exercising.
Okay, so what does that look like?
It looks like 5 days a week.
5 days a week?
Yeah.
And it's for better tone?
For better tone.
And weight loss?
Weight loss.
Weight gain?
Use my old jeans.
Okay, perfect.
It's really what it's for, actually.
Alright, so let's take the analogy that my finger is Krista's comfort zone, where you're at. Would you say right now you're comfortable? Fairly?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So this is where you're at physically in your comfort zone. So I'm going to just take this, and if you can grab that right there. Yeah, sure. And, oh, there's some more people there. And, oh, hang on. Come back. Just loose. All right, so this is your comfort zone. Now what I want you to do is I want you to just, not yet, just slowly pull away. Not yet. Okay? And I want you to think of this as the next 4 weeks into January. Okay? So just real slow, start going. So you're going to the gym, things are moving great. You're losing weight, you're putting on muscle, you're toning up, things are going great, keep going, you're feeling fantastic, you're eating right, we'll stop right there. Okay? So there's a lot of tension. So here's Krista, 4 weeks into January, doing absolutely fantastic, feeling the best she's ever felt in her entire life, but yet this is where she's conditioned to be. So what's happening right now?
It's
pulling her back.
It's pulling her back, right? So even though she's getting awesome results 3 to 4 weeks into January, now her condition is going, whoa, wait a minute. There's a deviation from the system and this isn't right. You're not supposed to be here, you're supposed to be here. So, slowly come back. What do? You start to eat bad, you stop going to the gym, it's Haagen-Dazs time. You start to eat deep fried foods and Pepsi and Cokes, and brings you back to comfortable again. Alright, so can you switch to the other side now, please? So we're going to do the exact opposite. So go ahead and grab that. Now let's say that Krista decides after January, she's a little bit depressed, okay? She didn't hit her target. Things aren't going so well. So you start going back the other way. You start eating real bad. And you start going to fast food like 8 days a week, okay? And you're pounding back the burgers. And next thing you know, bang, there's a tension again. And then at this point, you think to yourself, I can't do this. I've had enough. I don't want to live like this. And you start to come back, and you start working out, you start coming back to, thank you, awesome, congratulations. You just lost weight, gained weight all the time. All right, and that's what happens, that's the oscillation of life, right? We're constantly going into this awesome phase, back down to this crappy phase, awesome phase, crappy phase. So the key is to remove the band. And what happens is, once you remove the band, then you go to the next level, it's called evolution, and now you're going to have a new band to conquer. It never goes away. It's always going to be there, right? One of the reasons I'm sick this past week was because I'm going through some of the craziest challenges in my life right now, but I'm also growing like crazy. I'm standing in front of you guys doing what I absolutely love. I've launched my first product, which is right here as of yesterday, and there's, thank you. And so there's all these amazing things happening, but at the same time, my life is in total chaos. So it's very interesting to understand how everything in your life has to go through a growth evolutionary process. Iligit Prigogine wrote he won the Nobel Peace Prize for chaos theory, stating that every single living organism has to go through an evolution process, much like a caterpillar becomes a butterfly, to evolve. And when you're in that space, which I'm in that right now, it feels like hell. It sucks. But once you get to the next level, it feels pretty good, right? So that's the rubber band theory, and that's why people don't achieve the things that they want in their lives. You know, 3 weeks in, and they're thinking, oh man, that didn't work out very well.
Is it always 3 weeks?
3 to 4 weeks. Some people will go a couple months. The maximum is 2 years. People can go 2 years, and after a 2-year time frame, they'll always go back to their conditioned way. And a lot of that conditioning, like I said, you're either unaware or you're aware of and you don't know how to change. And a lot of it was from childhood, you know, teachers, billboards, magazines, anything that you've been inundated with information basically creates your entire belief system, which I'm going to share with you guys. So how you improve it is you go 3 for 3. This is something James Ray talks about, is thoughts, feelings, and actions. So you have your thoughts. How many of you think you have good thoughts? Yeah?
Sometimes.
Well,
Sometimes they're not.
there's a saying that 2% of the population thinks, 3% think they think, and 95% would rather die than think. Which is true. Most people aren't thinking. The second is feelings, right? We all have feelings. Feelings are either going to empower us or disempower us, which we'll talk about a little bit more. And actions. You ought to be taking actions. Now, there's a secret to this. So the secret is simple. Your thoughts have to be unconscious. Okay? And my intention tonight is not to teach you something, necessarily. My intention is to help you understand something for yourself. So with that said, if you've seen this, and just play along, let's have some fun. Today I was at the mall, and I picked up a copy of the new secret book called The Power. How many of you have seen this? Anyone read it? Yeah. I haven't either. Saw it, looked good, thought I picked it up. How many of you would like to have this copy for free? Yeah? Okay. So, just show of hands, who would like to have this book here right now for free? Okay. So who would like to have this for free?
Me!
So, would anyone like to have this for free?
Yes.
Yay!
All right.
I remember that! Wow. 13.
All right, so perfect example.
Ill results.
So people, you have the goal that you want. Something in front of you that's awesome and you'd love to have it. But yet you don't do anything about it, right? You want to know why? Because society is conditioned not to take action. And Lori, you went up there and did that very boldly. But how does it feel?
Great.
It feels great, right? And everyone else that didn't get a copy? Don't worry, I've got one of these for you, which is better than anything Rhonda Byrne has ever put out. So listen. So what happens is, everyone in the room said, oh yeah, I love a copy, right? But very few are willing to take action to do it. So if anyone's comfortable right now, who would like to share with kind of what they first thought about when they saw that? And before anyone wants to share, I'll tell you what most people say, because I've done this in the past. Most people think, I was afraid that you were trying to trick me. I thought I might look stupid. I didn't want to go up there and be made a fool of, is what most people think. So does anyone want to share? You went through?
I thought that's what it was, or you wanted someone to walk up and take it, but I didn't really think you were going to give the book away. I grabbed it so hard you didn't have a chance. I was told not. I thought I wanted because I read that story on the CD.
I thought if I want a book, I'll go buy my own.
Right. Interesting.
I will go buy my own, because if you recommend a book, I will buy the book.
Right. Chris? I feel like you've seen it. And I've been on the other end of the stick, okay? I've done this in front of 1,000+ people at the West End, so it's an amazing experience. So the thing I'm trying to show you guys today is how your belief systems determine every single thing you do. So there's a very small percentage of people that actually go out and do something. I think Hussein, you can relate, we both met online, right, even Todd. And you see a very small percentage of people actually take action on something. A lot of people that absorb information like crazy because it feels great, right? So the next is your feelings. You gotta have emotion. Like Lori came up here like a linebacker. I thought she was rolling over. And she had a lot of emotion. She wanted that damn book. And she got the book, right? So you gotta have a lot of emotion. The last thing is take inspired action. And that's when you feel good. That's when you're like, I'm not really sure if I should do it or should not. You just do it. And that's when you feel your best, right? So those are the 3 for 3 that you have to do in order to make your New Year's resolutions work. You have to have all 3 firing at the same time. Okay, here's a very simple formula that I'm going to share with you guys to help you understand the difference between someone who consciously makes a New Year's resolution and somebody who actually achieves it long term. Because what you're going to find is, although New Year's comes around and every single year I reevaluate my life, I've done it for 4 years, I'm always making changes, but I never make massive New Year's resolutions because I'm always tweaking my life throughout the year. So here's a very simple formula that I follow. Is number 1, create a powerful new vision. How many of you think you have a great vision for your life? Yeah? You know where your vision is? Now, one of the individuals that I absolutely love, he goes by the name of John Maxwell. He's a big leadership expert. He was saying, you know who he is, right? He's an incredible speaker. He does tons of keynote presentations. One of the things he talks about is how you have to have such a powerful vision for yourself so people actually know who you are. So when you pass and people go to your funeral, they don't go up to your funeral, get behind the podium and not have a clue what to say about you. Because they don't know who you were. And how many of you have been to a funeral where that's been the case? Where the individuals really don't know who they were that well. So the second one is inner size. How many of you have heard of that term? Okay, inner size, have you heard of exercise? Okay, well inner size is the internal of exercise, but very few people do it. How many of you in this room think that you actually are fairly well at empowering and growing yourself internally as a person on a daily basis? Do you think you do stuff that actually helps you move forward mentally? Yeah? Okay, well good. Well, hopefully, by the end of this talk, you'll have grown so much you'll have a hard time getting out of the door. So our intention is to grow as an individual, right? And the only way you can do that is if you're feeding your mind. And that doesn't involve just reading, listening to stuff. That involves implementing stuff that's actually changing the way you think. So what we need to do with that is I'm going to walk you through a process towards the end of this, which will give you a good guideline on what to do and what I do on a daily basis. Third is you have to believe with emotion. And we talked a little bit about that. Lori's got a ton of emotion. If you know anything about Lori, she's got a lot of emotion. Fourth is create a plan of action, which is what we're going to do tonight with this. And we're not going to fill it all out or else we'd be here till 3 in the morning. And 5 is take inspired action. All right, so the first step, what I'm going to do is, if someone gave me a hand handing these out, I prepared a book for you guys. And let me get some pens. I got one here. So what this is right here, this is a condensed version of this right here, which is my entire product that I finished, I launched yesterday. This product actually is for sale on my website, virtual copy for $19.97, and then the hard tangible copy for $34.99. And it's 2 years worth of work packed into a 60-page workbook. This is a condensed version which I made for all of you, so you can have something to walk away with. And we're going to walk through this. So I've already actually filled mine out for the year. Grab an empty one. Okay, so the first page, page number 2, it says, create a binding contract with myself. How many of you have ever committed to something and done it? Seriously? Yeah? Good for you. Feels good, right? You do something? Now here's the deal, you got to commit to yourself. You got to commit to filling this out. And is this work? Yeah, this is work. That's work, you got to fill that in. You know what, it can be difficult, but you know what? Being broke and miserable is difficult too. So which would you rather do? Invest 5 hours into completing this, or getting the same results? So one of the things that I did to lay this out was kept it simple, which I'm going to explain. The first step is commitment. You've got to make a commitment, signed and dated, that you are willing to fully accomplish what you write inside this book, which you don't have to do right now. Second step is create your dream life. This is your vision. All right, so this is, we talked about before, John Maxwell, having that powerful vision so people know what you're about. You know, my vision for this, just so everyone knows, my vision for this is to eventually do GM Places Sold Out. That's my vision for this, in smaller workshops and venues. I have a very broad vision which is going to take the length of my life, and plus some. You know, I want to be thoroughly used up by the time that I'm dead. So, we could keep going with this, that's great. So you got to create your vision and your dream life. A lot of people as they get older, and you know, I'm not old yet, I'm 29, but they lose their dreams. They become diluted, you know? As they start to get older, it's like, well, I can't really achieve that because this is happening and that's happening. Come up with all these rationalizations. So the intention behind this is very simple. It's to describe the emotions you feel, how you feel now that you're living your life, and list 3 reasons why you feel you deserve to live your dream life. Because just like we talked about, if this is where your comfort zone is, and you do start achieving your results, you're going to snap back because you don't feel you're worthy of it, right? And once you don't feel you're worthy of it, you'll be in that vicious loop. So that's where we want to use some of the techniques mentally, which I'm going to show you. So the first step is to getting clear about what your dream life is, okay? The next step are your beliefs. How many of you think you know what you believe in? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Anyone want to share something that they believe in that's empowering?
I believe in integrity.
Okay, awesome. Okay, does somebody want to share maybe a belief that's stopping them? Maybe money is the root of all evil. You don't believe you're worth it.
Fear.
Fear of?
Afraid of a lot of things. I want to think. It's not sad, yeah. Fear of success and fear of failure.
Yeah. You know, people are more afraid of fear of success than failure. Because if they succeed, all of the people will change around them, their circumstances will change, and all of a sudden, their entire life changes. But if they fail, they can say, well, at least I gave a shot. Yeah. So fear of success is a huge one for a lot of people. Now this page, these 2 pages are very important. These 2 pages are going to help you understand what you believe. So on this first page here, what you're going to do is determine what are your beliefs, your top 10 beliefs. And your beliefs have been ingrained by nothing more than seeing plus listening plus doing plus experiencing times repetition. So, as we talked about before, billboards, TVs, movies, magazines, I mean, we are inundated. If you've got the internet, you are inundated with information. It ain't stopping. But here's the deal. There's over 200 billion bits of information in this room right now that your brain is processing. You're only allowing a small percentage of it through your brain. And you have filters set up. One of them is called the RAS, the reticular activation system, which I won't get into. But basically, it's a very simple process that allows your mind to filter the information that you have inside your head that match up. Because if it brought in all this new stuff, you would have an overwhelm of new awareness, and you would shut down. So your brain's protecting you to only see things that line up. Perfect example is, how many of you have went out and purchased a new car, or been thinking about purchasing a new car, and all of a sudden you see it everywhere? And it's always been there, right? The car's always been there, but now you notice it everywhere. Okay, so you want to go through and get clear about your beliefs. The second thing is, and this is not the beliefs that you want, okay? These are your current beliefs that you think you have right now. The second thing is your values. How many know what you value in specific order? Give you some examples. God, family, integrity. Here's my top 3 values. Okay? God, freedom, career. Now there's a challenge with that, because I value freedom more than generating money, which is not a good thing. So one of my goals is to switch up the freedom and the career.